Hello, everyone, and I say everyone, and welcome back to
All of our listeners.
episode 4 of Chicken with a Scythe and a Hat podcast. Um, I'm joined by the lovely Clark Smith
Thank you, thank
for
you.
tonight.
Very good to be here.
I know, I'm happy to have you on the show. We've been looking to get you on in the 5-month deficit between the
Yep,
previous
I've gotten all the email
episode.
requests.
True, I know, I
Please
know.
come on the
Yeah,
show,
a lot of the
please.
viewers in the crowd were begging. They were hand over fist for you
Oh,
to
I'm
get on here.
sure.
So
So popular.
I'm happy that we could get you in now. If you weren't aware, Clark, you're actually breaking uh, our 5-month hiatus of the show
I'm
that
honored.
that was caused mainly by college. For those of you in the
Five
crowd,
months. I didn't know
yeah.
you guys had done it that recently.
Well, yeah.
I
Well,
thought
I
it
mean,
was
no,
like
it's
longer than that.
no. That's about how
So you
long
know
it was.
what?
It was about five
A
months.
younger podcast than I gave it
True.
credit for.
Well, I mean, 5 months is a long time. Was it. It might have been a bit. Might be a bit more than 5 months. Might have been like 6 months or something. Is It's been about half a year basically. And we have a lot to talk about.
I'm sure
Obviously,
five
yeah,
months worth.
yeah. 5 months worth in which we haven't talked to each other. Obviously.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm Jack
because
Colbert. Welcome,
yeah,
welcome back.
yeah, it's all for content. I just sit in my room doing absolutely nothing, waiting to record this every single day in and day out, except for college, which has been interesting. It's been alright. I know
Yeah,
that.
give me the OU rating,
Yeah,
the
I
OU
mean,
review.
it's pretty good. I'd say like a uh, I'd say like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Like it's
Okay.
great. Being autonomous, pretty awesome. For like, I guarantee anyone who's listening to this can agree that like being solo, kind of really freaking cool. Like just off from your parents and stuff. It's cool. It's great. It's awesome.
Yeah. I wish.
Unfortunate for you, yeah.
True.
Going into what is it? O triple
Seeing
C?
as, yeah, O triple C.
Yeah. Which has
Living
like
at home.
yeah, those
Which
are
has
eight
its pros
week
for sure.
8 week classes and all commuting. Or online.
Yeah.
That sounds
Although this
tough.
semester only going once a week,
Let's
which
go.
is, I don't know. I always say that it's such a like middle of the road response that it is pros and cons. But I mean, I
It
don't know.
really does just have pros and
I
cons.
mean, it really is so
Yeah.
middle of the road. It's like it's nice to be at home and
Do you
like
feel
not.
like
I
you're
don't know.
missing out kind of like not getting
Oh,
the
yeah,
the like first
absolutely.
year experience? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I was like afraid of when making the decision. Was like, like it's just such a big thing at the time. Of course, I mean, I knew people who were also doing it, but
True.
like now it's like, I mean, especially with the people I talk to now, including yourself, it's
True.
like, uh, I don't know,
OU's
very
great.
very different. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't plan on staying. As of right now, I'm definitely leaning towards
Well, it's only a 2-year program, isn't it? Or something like
true.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but I think I'm just gonna go for
One
1
year
year and
and
then
then
leave. It
change.
seems like so far. I don't know. I'm looking at my spring class. I was literally looking at my spring classes earlier
I
today, and
feel
I was
like
sitting
it's
there
very
like,
efficient, though.
oh, absolutely. I think it's great for people who are like maybe going back to school
I could
or
see
like
that.
dropped out
Yeah.
and then like years later we're like, yeah,
That's what my
I'll
mother did, so
finish that.
I
Yeah,
believe
I
it.
could totally see like working adults needing like that super speed
Yeah,
to
the blazing through. Plus, you're taking
get
so
it
many
done.
like useful classes.
Yeah.
Like
My
you're just
dad pointed out
knocking
to
out
me
good
earlier
stuff.
because I've been stressing about like the whether to refresh myself on Calc 1 or just go straight to Calc 2. He's like, well, if you
Hmm.
just do Calc 1 for the first half of the semester and then Calc 2 the second half, it's like by the end of the next overall semester,
Yeah,
like
you're
the
ready.
by the end of next spring,
You're
I will have
primed.
finished Calc 2, so it doesn't really matter.
True. It would be clean. You could not. God, that's so fast. It's scary. It's really fast, but
True.
I believe in you. I think you can do it.
Too
What
kind.
else? What else has been popular in our lives outside? Sure. I mean, it's been 5 months since what's happened within 5 months. We surely have a lot to tell each other. Uh,
Yeah, surely.
Whoa, there's been
Surely
so many
so
video
much.
games that have come
So
out that I
many.
remember.
None, none at all. That's something we could talk
There
about.
really been none.
Lack of. Well, I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, not obviously not
Well,
none,
yeah,
but
no, no, I know
like,
what you mean. Nothing like that we played at least. I feel
yeah,
like I don't know.
you're definitely right. There's a big, almost like deficit of stuff that's
Which
come
is
out in the last
really
couple months.
can be really good. Like when I started playing League
Oh,
last year at the beginning of the year.
uh,
It was like, I mean, of course, I mean, League's fun until it's not, but it
a,
was it
cla a
was
classic
it was
term.
fun to play a game that you didn't like have to pay for. Like, I mean, I don't
Yeah,
I've been so used to
free games are awesome.
like spending $60
Oh
like, you
God,
know, every like frequently to play
that's
whatever new game came
crazy.
out, but to switch to like PC and then be like, oh, I'll just play this free game and then end up playing it for like a year and a half. It's like not
Yeah.
spending any money on video games unless I like wanted to. It's pretty wholesome.
I've kind of always been in the like buy a game, play it for years mentality, or
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
free game, play it for years mentality. But funny enough, almost like since getting to college, I've kind of like broken that mold. Like I think I've bought more games within the last like 2 months than I have probably in my entire life. At least like using my own money.
You
Like
were the like you found Destiny in like 2014. You're
yeah,
just like, okay,
yeah.
I'll
Played
stick with
it
this
played it
for
for
four
7 years.
years. Well, yeah, 4 years until you branched
I
out. But
found Terraria. I played it for 7, 8 years. I played CS:GO for 4 years. I played Team Fortress 2 for 4, 5 years. Like all of the games that I famously have played in my history, I've always just I spend my money on them and then I'm like cool and play them for thousands of hours. My 2,000 hours of Terraria. But recently, I bought a couple of games. I bought Grime, which was very fun. It's a great game.
yeah,
Very
you've
Dark Souls
been
esque.
recommending that.
Which that's because recently I actually played Dark Souls 3 for the first time. Not recently, I should say. Well, recently as of this video, maybe.
5 months.
Yeah, within the last 5 months, I played. 5 months ago, I played Dark Souls, um, and that was fun. I love Dark Souls. Not to be a Dark Souls coomer, as every single person who plays Dark Souls is, where they go, "Dark Souls is so great, so hard." Actually, I didn't think Dark Souls was that hard, honestly. At least not
Really?
compared. Funny enough, not compared to Terraria. I really
Yeah.
I know that's a
Compared
hot that's a scalding hot
to
take that a lot of people will
Terraria
be
veteran.
raving about, but really, I did have a tad bit more trouble playing through like Revengeance and Death mode, like modded Terraria, than Dark Souls 3 normally. Which I assume that might just be the modded experience. Like maybe modded Dark Souls would be equally as terrible, but
Do
modded
they do modded
Terraria,
Dark Souls?
I
Are
don't
there
know.
like mods you can get?
I've got no clue.
I've never even tried vanilla Dark Souls with you. I really need to try it. I just
It's
like
it's it's such a
it's
it's
one of those
really is a
games
good
that I'm
game.
just I don't know. I'm my taste in video games
Yeah,
is like I don't know. I don't like challenging myself in games
yeah.
even if I probably should. I mean, it'd be nice to give that kind of thing
I
a
don't know.
shot.
It's almost like playing your first Dark Souls playthrough is always like super romanticized because you have no clue where anything is. You have no clue what
Yeah.
anything does, and you have no clue what you're capable of. So your first build is going to be terribly shitty. Everything's new. Everything's like, "Oh man, what the hell's going on?" So it's super fun like just to explore the areas and stuff. When you played it like a couple times over, it's really not fun to go through the areas, but it's still fun to fight the bosses. Like
Yeah,
that was
because
the
on the
experience.
exploring aspect.
Yeah, that was the experience that I got more than anything on my first playthrough, where I was like, man, the exploring's great, and the bosses are all right, except for some of the bosses. Like some of the bosses, like honest to God, a lot of the like bosses in Dark Souls, they're fucking terrible. Like they are horrible bosses. They're just really, really poorly designed. But then it like breaks the mold by having like 5, 6 bosses that are like it's just the greatest thing ever to fight. They're
Yeah.
so much fun. Like fighting human entities is just fucking. I hate monster bosses. Like I hate monstrously sized bosses, like
Oh yeah,
giant
yeah,
bosses.
yeah, yeah.
I
I could see
love
that.
human sized bosses because you'll be rolling around and they'll be rolling around and you're like, we're fucking evenly matched. You're like, bah, 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 bah. It clashing like blades and shit like that. It's so good. Like fighting those fast bosses in the game. It's great. It's awesome.
I think I got a little taste um of Dark Souls style combat and Witcher,
hmm
even though I played on
I
like
could
the
definitely see
medium
that.
difficulty. But like
Yeah.
it was for the first time, and this is why I think I started to think, oh, maybe I will like Dark Souls. Is because in Witcher 3, I really got a taste of the like dodging and rolling
Yeah.
and like actual tactical
It's nice.
combat and like a melee video game. But it was a lot of fun.
Like
Another thing
timings and
Witcher 3
stuff.
has is like the potions and oils and stuff, which I haven't surprisingly. I mean, I'm approaching the end of the game in my playthrough, and I haven't even um I haven't delved like too deep into
Yeah.
that aspect of the game, but it was in one of the like side quest like bosses I did like get like a specter oil or something and
Hmm.
like used it against like the wraith, and it was actually like kind of like fun to like have an advantage on it because I
Yeah.
actually like tried to. It's nice that they give you the
Yeah.
ability to like have an advantage on the
See,
bosses.
there's a bunch of stuff like that in Dark Souls, like where you can, like, there's what are they called, like Estus shards or whatever. Like I never used those. I used the flask, of course, but like there was like additional like bonuses and buffs you could use and stuff, and I just never, I never ever bother with using that stuff in like not like Souls. I mean, I guess Souls like in any video game, like if there's a consumable item, I just won't touch it. I like like, which is a really
I know
really bad
what you mean
mentality.
though. It's definitely not, and I,
It's not
I don't
smart.
know.
Like
It's not
I
the
could play so much more optimally, but I almost don't. First off, I don't like being dependent on something that I know is going to run out eventually. Like if my
Oh,
strategy to
that's
beat a
yeah.
boss is like, well, I have these 20 attempts to do it, and then once I run out of these, I'm just fucked. Like
That's
I'd
why in
rather
Witcher
just
3
do
you
it.
quick save and
Yeah.
then just continuously
It's
go back to the
simple.
same quick save.
Yeah. But I don't know. Dark Souls just felt it. It almost feels like like you know like CS:GO like Source Engine. Like it feels like the source engine
Yeah.
of all of a lot of 3D
Oh
games.
yeah.
Like it just feels like the OG. Like if you're gonna go hit something or like use something or do something, it all just comes back to like Dark Souls like way
Yeah.
of doing it, which is crazy that they like modernized the genre to the extent where it feels like that. Where you play any other 3D
I mean,
game and
yeah.
you're
I
like,
mean, the
oh, this
first
feels
thing I
like
thought
Dark
when I
Souls.
when I was having that challenging thing in Witcher 3, I was like, oh, this feels like Dark Souls. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't think any other game.
Because I also bought um, wanting to play a game similar to Dark Souls, I bought Grime, of course, which I played, and that was a great game. It's like a Metrovania type Metroidvania. I don't remember what it is type game. Been like lectures to me how similar they are all the time, but I don't remember the name of the original game that it like derives from. It was great. It was really really fun. And then off of that, I wanted to play a more Dark Soulsy game, so I replayed Dark Souls and was like, this is I'm not feeling it. So I bought another game called Mortal Shell, which was
Oh
fucking.
yeah, yeah, I meant to ask you about that earlier. You and
That
Jasper were
game
playing
was.
that.
I don't know. I'll be honest. It was pretty abysmal. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was. It it was so hard. Like, maybe I just couldn't mesh with the like timings of like the parries
Should
and
have been
stuff
using
well.
those
But it just
consumables.
it did not feel good at all. And then off of my defeat of that, I then bought a pixel art game called Eldest Souls,
I love pixel art
which
games.
was also which was similarly to Grime. It was
Eldest
really good.
Souls.
It
I'm
was
gonna
really
look at it.
fast, but it was fun. It was a damn fun game. I beat it in like 10 hours, so it wasn't too long, but all the boss fights were great and they were lengthy and they had some challenge to them.
Oh dang, this game looks
Yeah,
awesome.
it's cool. I had a I had a blast. I It was basically like a day that I was just like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and play this, and then I played it for 10 hours and beat it, and I was like,
Oh
that
yeah,
was
this is the
fun.
game I watched you play a little bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is really fun. I
Yeah. It
expected
looks fun.
there aren't okay. So here's the almost like the downsides that I'd say. There aren't like mobs. There are no like normal
Uh,
enemies around. Like it's
it's
literally
all
just boss
bosses.
fights, which is like it's good and bad. Like it for the people who are like the basically the meat. Well, it was almost disorienting because when I think of Dark Souls, I'm like, God, I wish I could just teleport to all the bosses and fight all the bosses. That's the fun part. But for some reason, in that game, like not having ads between everything was super
Yeah.
disorienting. I was like, man, this feels weird. Like I just wish there was something like in between. And there were like puzzles and challenges almost, and like there's stuff that would shoot at you, but there was no like enemy that you'd like fight and kill or whatever in order to go like area to area. And thought that was a little bit weird, but the visuals in the game are super good, and it was really fun. So I
Yeah,
totally
pixel
advise
art
it.
games definitely
Oh, they're so good.
they
I love
scratch
pixel
that
games.
itch for me.
Yeah, they they are zingers, no doubt. What else though?
Uh,
What outside of video games in our in our
Such interesting lies.
voracious grasp? It was Halloween recently because we're
True.
recording this on November 4th. and uploading because it I don't edit these. I don't do anything. I sit here, I record them, and then I
He's a
slam them
simple
onto
man.
YouTube instantly. It's a simple life I lead.
I don't
Of
know. I don't know. I'm no pro, obviously, but I don't
yeah,
know how much editing needs to go into a podcast. I think if we
that's
had
true.
visuals, that'd be a different story entirely. But
Yeah,
like
it'd be
a
lovely if we
podcast,
could just
and
sit.
like
Oh, can you imagine if we'd just been
that's what I'm
sitting next to
saying.
each other? That'd be
Yeah,
great. We'd
I
also
wanna
need a
like
lot better
face
microphone.
cams and
Like
stuff.
I
Oh,
guarantee you,
absolutely.
my shitty microphone is making its terrible buzzing noise right
Yeah,
now.
if anyone finds this video, feel free to tell
Yeah,
us
sponsor
our
us.
mic
Send us,
quality.
yeah,
Oh,
send
and
us.
sponsor us.
No,
Yeah.
we know how bad it is. I watch these back sometimes.
I don't
My
know. I was telling Jasper earlier. I don't know what my own mic quality sounds like.
my mic
Jasper's mic quality, oh,
buzzes.
amazing. Because he's got like I don't even know what it is. It's not even that crazy of a mic. Like I think he said it was a blue snowball or something. But just the fact that he's using a mic that isn't attached to like a headset and like actually costs like
Yeah.
money was like I mean Jasper's mic quality. A friend of ours, if you are a new listener, or actually no old listeners
Yeah, yeah,
have heard
they would
this.
also
Have
not
heard of
know.
Jasper
Nobody
either.
knows who the Jasper. The fuck is Jasper?
Well, yeah, he's definitely one of the most audio quality,
Yeah.
like, not
Best sounding.
conscious, best sounding people in our
Yeah.
constant Discord calls. So that's what I'm trying to
True.
say.
And that's not just. It's not a voice compliment at all. Just in case Jasper ever watches this. Fuck you, Jasper.
No, it is a voice
Oh,
compliment.
it
His
is.
voice,
Never
though,
mind.
Jasper, when he
Silky smooth.
pursues his career in professional voice acting,
Jasper
Jasper's
when.
got. I feel like Jasper's got that like Travis like Willingham like voice
I see
that
that. Speaking of.
that not that many people have. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know,
the
like
gravelly,
especially
like
people who are
deeper
like what, like
voice.
16. How old's Jasper?
I don't know. I feel like
Jasper's
that's when it catches
not
on.
old
I
enough
could be
to
wrong.
if you're that kind of person, then maybe Travis Willingham, the
Yeah, the iconic.
16-year-old like.
Yeah. Speaking of, Critical Role is up right now, airing
Oh,
as we
is it?
speak. Yeah.
Oh, it's Thursday.
Yeah, it is Thursday.
No
It
way.
is Thursday yet. It's running as we speak. Oh, Clark, speaking of agonizing things that have gone on, I took a shower not but an hour and a half ago, maybe 2 hours ago, and I step into our dorm shower, and it is like the water. I sat there for like 3 minutes waiting for the water to get warmer, and it was still freezing, and I was like, I just have to shower. So I step in and actually get my bones like frozen off. Not only that,
It's horrible.
but it's a night shower, which for longtime listeners know that I famously hate. If
What?
it's
No,
yeah no
night showers are pro. No.
famously when you when you look on the one of the 4 videos on the channel or like 8 videos on the channel, one of them is
Have
me
you done that
compl-
many?
yeah well 3 podcasts and then 5 other videos where it's just me complaining about some, as in the name of the channel, it's me complaining about something that I've got a hatred towards or I'm invested against. And that was night
Uh,
showers was one of them. I was eagerly complaining about them. And okay, that was about night showers that are like heated and warm. Dude, night
oh,
showers that are fucking
showers
freezing,
is what you're
that's a
saying right now?
whole that is a whole new like it's a new depth of hell. It was so fucking horrible. I had to talk to myself in the shower to stop from like breaking down. It was terrible. It was
I've
horrible.
argued with many a person over the morning and night shower.
Yeah, but can you argue for the freezing cold versus
Oh,
nice
absolutely
warm
not.
shot? Yeah,
I'm
good
a
man.
I'm a warm night
My
shower. It's
my
so
father
wholesome. It's
used
so
to
wholesome.
shower in like freezing cold water, and that was also at the same time that he would drink his like cups of coffee, his mugs of coffee with an entire stick of butter in them. And that was a dark time for our family.
Uh,
Yeah. No, no response needed. You can leave it empty. It was horrible. It's just terrible abuse, all that other stuff. It was not great. That's the monster I intend to never become. It's a man who drinks
yeah,
butter
please don't.
and showers in like actual freezing cold. God, I can't believe you did that. What have you done though recently, Clark? Or been doing? You've been investing. Have you swam recently?
Nope, too cold for that.
Lacking.
It's November,
Absolutely
remember?
lacking.
We just said.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot. Yeah, cut the tape.
No,
Pick a different
I'm
pen.
ready for next summer so I can swim though
Really?
because I got into it so late
Yeah,
in the
you
game,
reached
and
it
it's
late.
actually like I don't know, it's something that I don't have to go anywhere to do. I just go in my own pool
Yeah,
and then swim back and forth for 30 minutes
that
and
really is
burn some
awesome.
calories. I
Like
know,
just the
that's what I'm saying.
availability, super cool. Also, swimming's fun. It's kind of slept on,
Yeah,
and that's
I enjoy it. I think it does get I don't know. I found myself getting a little like tired of, I mean, like I just said, I mean, just swimming back and
mhm.
forth in your own pool over and over again. So after like 20, 30 minutes, I'm like, yeah, I've kind of done it all. I'm ready to get back to the world, but
Yeah.
like I don't know. It's definitely nice. It's definitely not like I what I always tell people is that like because I'm sitting here complaining like, oh man, I really wish I could like I mean I want to be working out. I want to do
Oh, that's
something, and then
great.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well you could go on a walk, and it's like yeah, but like
No,
sure, I could go on a walk, and I have, and like I've been going on walks like with my dog and my mom, but
that's
like
good.
um but like for example, just taking my dog for like a run through
Mhm.
the neighborhood, it's like it would be I would enjoy that 1,000 times more if my neighborhood was not my neighborhood. It's like I've been here. I've seen
Yeah.
it all.
Well,
I've seen everything. I don't there's
yeah.
no if I
Yeah.
was
That definitely
exploring my
sucks.
environment and like seeing like new things, that would be run worthy.
I
But
remember
just like the
when we were
same
recording
neighborhood over and over again.
for earlier episodes in like 2 and 1 and stuff like that. After afterwards, I would go and walk my dog around the neighborhood, and I hadn't. We'd only been there for a year, so I barely explored the like run around, and I would just walk around and listen to my own podcast, which is a pretty sad thing to do in
No,
retrospect. But
no, I get it.
it's a score.
I plan
I
on
won't
listening to a
lie.
little bit of
Like,
this.
oh, you should. It's I don't know what it
I'm
is.
curious,
Maybe
seeing as this
it's
is for all you new and old listeners, my
yeah,
first
our,
ever
our millions of
feature in a.
yeah.
Oh, eventually. No, no.
Yeah, one day.
Somebody's gonna look up. Ewan
Man,
and Clark first ever
I need a
video.
really good podcast about these two unbelievably famous people. Oh, wait, there it is. And then they'll come back and watch this and they'll be like, man,
Oh, they'll find it.
they really had it all figured out back then. It's famously.
Definitely.
Yeah, they
They're
really
so
knew what was going
comfortable
on.
on call.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's.
something we can talk about. Why not just talk about the
Hmm,
this itself, the podcast?
wow, that's meta. It's a step in.
That is
I
meta. See, look, we're breaking rules, guys.
true. Yeah, unveiling, pulling back the screen
We're doing
already.
the
Episode
undone.
4. Uh,
Doing the undone.
I I think that it's almost like I maybe I'd watch or only listen to a lot of really humble people, who fucking hate hearing their own voice and hearing themselves talk and whatever.
I cannot
Um,
stand my own voice.
but I'll be honest, I actually love hearing myself like talking
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
you mentioned that before. That's,
Because
I mean,
it's
that's
great.
be appreciative of
Well,
that. That's
it's almost
awesome.
like I forget that it's me. Like my voice sounds different to recordings of it, or at least like me spitting out what I'm saying right now is very. I like interpret it differently than when I'm listening to it. So when I'm listening to it, I almost don't see it as me, but I see it as a guy that just has a lot of really similar beliefs to
I
me,
like
and I'm
the
like
implication
this guy gets it.
that there's a margin of error where it's not similar, really
I mean,
similar, not exactly, but really
well, no,
similar.
that's the thing. Is it's like sometimes I'll disagree with my past self. I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Oh,
fucking
okay, yeah, I get
stupid.
that.
What am I? What could I possibly be talking?" But other times I'm like, man, he took the words right out of my mouth. That's exactly what I would have said, and it's literally
Who is
because it's
this guy?
what I
I
said.
look
Yeah,
into
yeah.
him.
Who is this dude? It's really I love it. So then I mean on top of that, like I'm a lonely guy. Like we don't, our call isn't very populated now these days.
Dude,
A
I
lot of
know.
people have left for college. So when in doubt, man, going back and watching like clips or videos of just stuff we've done, like times we've played games or times we've talked like this, it's great. It turns on. I think from like being in Discord with the Postman for so long, which we're not gonna un like unbury either of those topics at the moment. With our like 6 minutes remaining that
Postman
we
is
have,
out.
that's not important.
Is
Not
out.
important. Um,
I was
but
gonna compare it to like what's KSI's.
Oh
thing. Like
God, no,
those
that's a
groups.
terrible
Post.
comparison. It's
It's
a
the same
horrible
idea.
comparison. That not at all.
What?
Okay, okay. I don't want to. Please, I'm
Alright,
gonna
let's
get back to
continue.
the original
We'll get
topic.
back to this.
I forgot exactly what I was saying. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No.
Our group isn't as we're not as young as we once were. Not as youthful. We can't do our
Don't have the
14-hour
time on our
binges in
hands.
call
I
where we
know.
have 9 people and we're just constantly playing some game or something. But so because of that, almost like being able to while I'm AFK doing like homework or programming or something, like being able to listen in the background and have just like people talking from the olden days is really yeah, it's great. It's like I think that I have unconsciously like Pavloved myself into liking hearing my own and other people's voices for that I know in the background, but like in a call position, like in a recording position. So because of that, when I listen back, I'm like, ah man, this is great. Like even if it's just in the background of what I'm doing, it's like better than like ASMR or even other podcasts that I could be listening to or music or stuff. It's great. And it always like brings me into the moment. Like I'm like, yeah, like whatever topic we're talking about, I'm like, that's a man. I gotta think about that more. Like Zeke and I's stupid. You haven't seen Clark, but our stupid conversation about beans. That's a fucking banger. I won't even lie to
That
you.
sounds awesome.
It's a bang. You
I'd
should watch
listen to
Beans and Jazz.
podcasts on beans.
Those are both some fire complaints that we had on both of those.
Complaints on beans.
Yeah, it was hard. Well, it's green. It's we please we have a color coded situation going on the channel. Like, come on. It was it goes what does it go? It's been it's been 6 months. It goes red, orange, yellow, gray, green. I think is how it goes. Which red means that we're really fucking angry about whatever the topic is. Orange
Oh,
means we're
okay.
like moderately angry. Yellow means we're annoyed. Gray means we're indifferent, and green means that it's hard for us to complain about it. Beans was green, green gray. That's what it was. Because I think Zeke and I had differing opinions on it. I love beans. I won't even cap.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I love beans.
Wait,
Kill
You
yourself.
know what?
Sorry, that was
I'm.
the Ben. But yes,
Oh, I get it. I get it. Kill myself on my bean limit. No, I'm just kidding.
I love beans.
Beans. I don't know. I need to give dry beans more of a shot. I'm a
Whoa,
huge baked beans kind of guy.
I am
Like
too.
that's what I mean when I say beans. I think
What's a
about like
dry bean? I can't think
mm,
of an instance in which beans are
you know,
dry.
like I don't know, like not not dry, but as I'm talking as opposed to like the soupiness of baked beans, where it's like you got this
I
kind
guess
of
that
like
makes sense.
this like thick liquid that the
Yeah.
beans
Well,
just
black beans are usually also thick liquid. Refined
are
beans are
they?
kind of yeah. Usually they've
Yeah,
got like the
refried, yeah.
black schlop that they're in. They've got like the tar that
I'm just
black
talking about
beans are
like
in.
beans with no soup,
Lentils.
if that
Well, I
makes
guess
sense.
lentils aren't
Like
beans.
not soup, but that
Oh,
like liquid
Clark.
surrounding.
I have to take you to Austin
Just
again.
beans.
More Mexican
Dude,
food. I
take me. I'm
it's
ready. Even I
so
have
good.
been the non-traveler, and I hate it.
Yeah, I gotta
I
get
just
you
keep
on.
talking about how much I want to like go somewhere, because
Yeah.
like I don't know,
Well, COVID kind
so
of
many. Oh, absolutely.
come in a
Because I
little
was
bit
actually
tough.
supposed to go to Italy for
Really?
senior year
Oh, that
from
would have been
through school,
awesome. That
and
sucks.
it would have been, but the people running the trip were kind of like, and I'm sure it still would have been a lot of fun, but it
Yeah.
probably would have been like really like, get it. They were talking about like making us like, if you go off on your own, like every 20 minutes, you got to like send them a text saying where you are and
That's
stuff. It's like,
weird.
that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, it still would
Which
have
I mean,
been.
I
It
get
would have
it's
been
through
great.
school. Like I'm sure like there's a lot
Yeah,
of pressure
they
on
don't
them
want you
to
to get
not lose the
kidnapped.
children in Italy. Like that would kind of like, oh, sorry, your kid got lost.
Oopsies. Lost a kid in Italy. I
But so I was
yeah.
excited, but at the same time, I kind of wanted to like go somewhere on my own, which
Yeah.
is Japan is still in prospects of a
True.
place that
Just
I'd
learn
like
a
to go, and
little
I've
bit of
got like all
Japanese.
this like money saved up for it. Dude, I was on the Japanese grind like a
Really?
year ago. Yeah,
You gotta get
I
back
no
on
for
that.
I had a over 100-day streak on Duolingo of practicing Japanese,
Damn.
and
Okay.
then I lost it, and I just
And
couldn't
it
get
all
back into it.
crumbled.
I think I'd be able to relearn what I did know pretty quickly, but it's
Oh
just
no,
like it's
definitely.
something. Yeah, relearning is
Language
that's
comes
something.
back to you so like it's scary how fast language will just like re-enter your mind. Especially if
And
you go to
yeah, no, yeah.
Japan.
My sister went with her boyfriend and
Oh
his
really?
family too. He's from his dad was born in France,
That's cool.
and she went with him and his her boyfriend and his dad and that and his like siblings and stuff to go see his her boyfriend's grandparents in France and stuff, and he hadn't spoken French in like forever, and apparently by the end of the trip was like fluently speaking it to all his family members. My sister's just sitting there like, uh-huh, uh-huh, like
Cool,
just like
cool.
listening to conversations that she can't understand. But
It's funny.
so yeah, maybe I mean obviously he was taught like it at a very young age, which is something I'm so upset about.
Yeah.
Like my cousins' children are in they just sort of like pre-K and like kindergarten and stuff in Tulsa, like that close by, and they're still like they're at whatever school they're going to. I think it's like a Catholic school. They're they have a choice to learn either French or Spanish. Like
Yeah.
from like and they're just like well, I mean, I'm sure the parents get the choice for their kids to learn either
The
French
kid
or
points at like a
Spanish.
guy with a baguette or
Yeah.
a guy with a sombrero. Which one do you want?
But that's so awesome because like it's so much easier for you to
Yeah.
learn languages when you're a kid. So it's like trying to learn
Oh
it now
yeah.
just kind of sucks.
I'm pretty
And
confident that if like I was tossed into some Spanish speaking country, I would almost
oh yeah, yeah,
instantly
because
get
you
it.
took Spanish for a while. I
Oh,
took Spanish for
years.
2 years, then switched to
Let's
French
go.
for 3 years, and then I took Japan or didn't take Japanese, but tried to learn it on my own.
Yeah.
Which Japanese was definitely the most interesting. Like, I mean, I will say
Really?
probably just because it's another set of characters,
Yeah.
but like Spanish, I don't know why I just didn't really like catch on. I mean, to it, it wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I could not stand, and I'm not saying that other languages don't also have these things, especially like Japanese has its difficulties as well.
Hmm.
But the Spanish, like conjugating verbs. I mean,
Oh yeah.
every language has that, but
Jugar.
that's horrible. Like having, I mean, in English, I mean, I know people say like English is hard, but yeah, I obviously I grew up with it, so it's like to be able to say I don't know like runs like, is so easy. Like, you say I
Yeah.
run, he runs, you run. Like so, it's like you already have
Yeah,
like
it's not conjugated like
we
based on
run,
gender or
they
based on like
run. The
group.
only difference in most verbs I find is he and she have to
Run,
change.
ran.
Like the third
Yeah.
party like
versus Spanish is like
every
there's
single one is different.
corre,
Every single one.
corro, corrió, corrá, corremos, corramos,
Who
corrimos,
wants to do that?
corren, corran.
The
It's yeah,
Quran in Spanish.
it's tough.
No, but Japanese was a lot of fun. I think just because,
Yeah.
I mean, it was hard because it was another character set, but it was also a lot of fun because it was like something entirely new.
Mm.
And yeah, I really, I thought also it's so simple, not in a lot of respects, but like their sentence structure is so like, I don't know how to explain it, especially since I haven't like reviewed it in
Yeah.
so long. But like I just remember the sentence structure being so like it was just subject, and then you have to have something after the subject, like watashi wa, like you say wa
Hmm.
after I, and then the predicate is like right there. It's I don't know. I just it was so like there's not a lot of filler words like there are in
Yeah.
English where like
Yeah.
in
English has a
Japanese it's
lot
just
of in
like
betweens.
I like run or something. I mean it's just it's so I guess I
Has
just said it
a
in English.
lot
It's like
of in betweens.
yeah, it's I mean I give some pretty shitty examples, but like. I don't know.
Yeah.
I really appreciated Japanese and it was fun. I have to go back to it, but it's just like especially if I plan on going there, but
Hmm.
that's something that made it really like astoundingly difficult was that nobody else was learning it around me since I wasn't like in a
Yeah, that
class or
also makes it
something.
tough.
There was no like nobody to
It
practice with
if you're not
and you just
talking to
run out of
people. Oh.
steam. It's like I'm surprised I lasted 100 days, but I kept the steam like running. I was just like going and going and then doing lessons every day and
Yeah.
but then having nobody to like actually practice with and no way to actually apply it is like that's something and just I've realized in my own way of learning anything is
Yeah.
that application is so important.
Oh
Otherwise, I just
yeah.
like lose interest
That
immediately.
and like talking with other people about things is like that's number one way in order to like get excited about something. Especially if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
speaking a language or something. Like the fun part of speaking a language isn't like, oh man, I learned this language. It's like actually being able to be like, hey Clark, omaiwamu shinderu, and then like blah 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 blah, and you can just say 1,000 words at the person, and they either understand them and are like, oh, that's fucking awesome. We just spoke two sentences in
I know,
Japanese or
I
Mandarin
know.
or
Yeah, yeah,
Korean or
yeah.
whatever. Or they're like, I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You're like, hee hee, I just called you retarded in whatever language. Dee. It's awesome. So, I mean, that's something I think I'd also like to get back on Spanish at some point in time, but I'd like to get on it not through just learning and actually through going somewhere and doing
Yeah,
or
I know.
something like that.
That's why I I don't know. I really would like to go to Japan. I considered
Yeah.
like not. I don't know, like moving there through like an English teaching program. But I mean, and that's not like out of the question yet. It's not like I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna do that. But I mean, teaching English here is not something I'm interested in. So it's hard
Yeah.
to pursue that and like waste my, well, I
Yeah.
say waste. I mean, use my college
Honestly,
time
teaching English
to do
in
like get like
general.
an English. I feel like teaching English to people that don't know it would be like fun, especially. I mean,
I
you're
guess.
such a pro compared to everyone around you, but.
Yeah, but you're not a teaching
So,
pro. You're just a
because yeah,
knowing
yeah.
pro.
Let me. What I should say, teaching the English language sounds fun, whereas in America,
Yeah.
teaching English is not teaching the English language. It's like, Shakespeare,
Oh
yes.
God. Yeah. Look at this and this and this and this and this. I don't know. It seems very complex wherever you go with it. But speaking of complex, uh, it's complicated how long we've drawn on through this podcast. We're supposed to aim for 30 minutes and we're at 35 now. So
Oh no way!
this
I
is
didn't even
a
know we had an aim goal.
consider this. Well, usually, yeah. Well, okay. So the story, which will, me saying this is risky. The story as it goes is I was like, I'll record a podcast for the very first one, and I recorded, and I went to 40 minutes with it when we did it. The first one, it was me and Ben, and it stopped. The recording like broke itself at the 30-minute mark. So I was like, I guess that's the limit. And from there on out, I've tried to make every single one 30 minutes. I say, as this one
Okay,
is now stretching to 36 minutes. So this, either no one will hear this, or this will be a beautiful gift to our longtime listeners who are
let's
coming
go.
back and stuck with us through our short hiatus. This has been the Chicken with a Scythe and a Hat podcast. Thank you all for watching. Clark, thank you for joining me.
Thank you
It
for
was
having
fun
me.
having you on. Yeah. We'll see. You might be on here another time if if there's good reception. We don't know, so we'll see.
Yeah, I might get trash in the comments.
Yeah. Might get flamed. We'll see. We'll see, I guess. Thank you everybody. That's it.